Gentlewoman yields back his time. The gentlewoman from New Mexico, Ms. Stansbury.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I want to say thank you, first of all, to our federal agencies and employees who are here with us today. And I want to just start by saying that casework and helping New Mexicans is the bread and butter of my congressional office. It is a huge percentage of the work that we do on behalf of my constituents. That includes everything from helping our veterans to helping our elders and seniors with Social Security, helping with immigration issues with the State Department. And these are very serious issues, and obviously all of us and all of our constituents are experiencing real-life impacts that are affecting their families and their lives. But I do want to take a moment because it really bothers me when my colleagues bring folks in front of this committee, which is an oversight committee, and then attack our federal public servants, folks who literally are working for us every single day to try to address these issues. And the facts are that when you freeze hiring, when you cut pay, when you do not backfill jobs, and when you consistently attack federal employees, it affects their morale, it affects federal hiring, and it affects the services that our agencies are able to actually provide to the American people. So the facts show that when we are not adequately funding our agencies, when we are not adequately staffing our agencies, and when we do not support our federal personnel, we see the kind of issues that we're seeing here today. So obviously, we want to talk a little bit about some of the challenges that the constituents across the U.S., but in my district in particular, are facing. New Mexico is a place where a disproportionate number of our families are low income. Our seniors depend on their access to Social Security to live, in some cases, check to check. And we also have one of the highest percentages of the number of individuals who are veterans and who have served in our military, and we're very grateful for their service. And I have to tell you that I actually, in preparation for this hearing, spoke in depth with our staff about their casework and what they've been seeing in each of our federal agencies. And in fact, we have a Social Security Service Center in my district in Albuquerque. Now, first of all, when it comes to Social Security, I actually agree with my colleagues on the other side of the aisle on this issue. Folks who are on Social Security, many of them obviously are elders. Many of them do not feel comfortable using some of the technologies that the federal government is trying to transition to. And when they call our regional offices or they call the 800 number and they get a runaround by an employee who's not physically in the office, it means that they're not going to be able to get their check. It means they're not going to be able to pay their rent. It means they're not going to be able to go grocery shopping and put food on the table. And for many of our folks who are also living with disabilities, it means that they're also not able to get qualified for their disability support systems. So one of my asks, and I hope that you will take this back, Mr. Poise, to the Social Security Administration and to those who are up the chain who are listening today, is we do need those offices reopened. We do need more staff physically in person. And we need to not be leaving our elders, seniors, and people with disabilities standing in long lines outside of Social Security offices trying to get their Social Security checks and benefits approved. So I do want to make that point. Secondly, Ms. Bitter, I am very appreciative of your work. I will tell you, I think everyone here is having this experience right now. The passport backlog, the backlog on immigration and other issues that we're seeing is really just astronomical right now. And we have not received an adequate answer in my office about why we're suddenly hitting a wall. Like some of my colleagues, you know, normally our regional folks are fantastic. They help us solve problems when we call or we ask for help. But even now, we're really running into some huge problems. So can you please explain why are we seeing this backlog and when do you hope to actually get it resolved?
Thank you for the question, Congresswoman. I just want to clarify we're talking about passports.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Just for the big picture and to back up and explain a little bit about where we are, we're fee-funded, and our revenue comes from fees paid for the services that we provide. And like the rest of the State Department, we went into the pandemic at a deficit from hiring freezes in prior years. And then because of we're fee-funded and travel stopped, our fees dropped, and we had to implement further hiring freezes. So by the time travel came back and our fees rebounded about 18 months ago, we were starting 25% down
And
from
Ms.
where we
Bitter,
had been.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but we
Please.
are short on time. Can you tell us when you can expect to be caught up on this backlog?
Sure. We anticipate that by the end of the calendar year, we will be at pre-pandemic waiting levels, and that later in the summer and then throughout the fall, wait times will continue to fall incrementally.
Thank you. And Mr. Chairman, I know I'm out of time, but I do want to just say one quick thing. Mr. Levins, I'm grateful that you're here today. We're also seeing significant backlogs in getting those federal records for our veterans. And in fact, one of my constituents was unable to get a veteran's home loan because he did not get his paperwork in time. So please let us know how we can help support your agencies. We know that you need support and funding and staffing, and we just really are grateful for all the work that you do. So thank you. I yield back.
Gentlewoman yields back her time. Distinguished gentleman from South Carolina. Gentleman, Ms. Trim's recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.